Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me for this read. I am so excited to get to it, honey. First of all, let me tell y'all, I heard that this book was off the chain. Okay, I heard that this book giving us some good old, snapping turtle. You understand what I'm saying? Just a You understand what I'm saying? Good morning, Kenya. Let me see. Let me go to my live because y'all know I can't see it here. Listen, guys, just in case you are watching this on my primary home channel and not my secondary home channel, let me explain. Both of my channels have the same exact name. Simply type in Toxic Diamond and you will most definitely see both of my channels. Scroll down just a little bit. You'll see both of my damn channels, okay? But in case you don't know, okay, Demetrius Smith, R. Kelly's former manager, I read his book online. I interviewed him, and it turns out that he had accused his sister of not really messing it up, but kind of like destroying it low key. His opportunity with R. Kelly because his sister Carlita Hodges decided to sleep with him when he was underaged. Okay. And also he ended up getting Aaliyah a fake ID that allowed for her to marry R. Kelly, which of course just set a whole trap for some whole stuff whole years later. Okay. Just a mess. All right, guys. Well, tonight we're going to get into the meat and potatoes. Give me 1 second. Let me go get this meat and potatoes. Give me 1 minute. All right. So just in case you're watching this on my home channel, we are live from the backup channel, Toxic Diamond. Same spelling and everything. All you got to do is just go search it out on the internet. Good morning to Patricia, Beautiful Flame, Rena, Gabriella, Kenya, Miss Wells, Moma. Is it Mama? Mama April. Sharonda, J. Jameson, Mary, what's up with it? Quinta, let me see, Natalie, J. Spears, Solly, Tara. We got Melissa Gomez, Natalie on the line, and LaRonda. Hi, guys. I am so excited to read this book. Okay, if you're joining me on the home channel, make sure you go to my backup channel so you can find this reading, and make sure you join me on there reading live. If you're on the home channel, this is but a video, okay? Also, child, if any readings are missing, make sure you guys head over to my website, TOXSDIAMOND.com. Now, listen, guys, at the end of this video, I am going to place all of the stuff, all of my social media up so you can follow me, and make sure you go to the website under the book club tab, and so that you can see the other videos. And also, there are other videos listed here, a little bit scattered around right now with the Taraji P book, but this is our first reading for Carlita's Way, for Carlita Hodges, Demetrius Smith's sister, the one he was calling Cece in his book, The Man Behind the Man, has written her own thing. Child, let's get into it. Now, this is a new book for the Teahive, and we are very happy. We want to give quick shout outs to April B. and Mary Richardson and QT. Those are all people who have been recently hooking this up. I can't remember. There was one more name that I want to say. I can't remember. I'm going to have to go look over my video tomorrow. But I know that she obviously, but I know that I said her name because that's what I do. I know I said her name. All right. In the age of reality television, where so many people are willing to live their lives in front of the world, we live in a time where transparency is no longer an option, but an expectation. In order for celebrities to achieve and often maintain success in Hollywood, reality television in some form is a necessity. It's so necessary that it's become even more relevant to having a thriving and prosperous career, regardless of a person's real talent and accomplishments. The truth is that reality TV has made many untalented people stars virtually overnight. My mother, Carlita Hodges, has an exceptional story, and I'm convinced that if her story had taken place in current times, every major network would have lined up with offers to follow her with their reality TV cameras. The reality is that Carlita Hodges is a complex woman. And in my 29 years of knowing and loving her, I have yet to figure her out. She's loyal beyond belief and a great listener, but sometimes has the tendency to talk over a person. She is focused but can be disengaged. She is worldly but has never owned a passport. I'm fully aware that this may sound conflicting, but this is my mother. Hearing her story has allowed me to understand exactly how and why these many opposing characteristics can exist in one woman. While my mother is not a reality TV star, she is an ex-celebrity wife who seemed to have it all because she was married to my dad, Craig Hodges, a Chicago Bulls guard. Although it may have seemed like my mother lived a perfect life, life is rarely what it seems. Though many people envied her life, my mother endured hardships, including depression. There were many times that she was left. Can you guys hear me? Okay, I just want to make sure you guys can hear me. There were many times when she was left with the task of raising my brother and I alone. As you will see, she also dealt with many painful moments and tragedies in her marriage. My mother's story will not only enlighten you to what real celebrities and wives of the rich and famous go through, she will also reveal her darkest days and how she was able to rise above it all. Her story may sound like an true Hollywood story, but it's her best life, and she bears her soul in this book. You may think you know all about my mother because the media, but I want to make sure you guys know I said, but it's her life. Thank you. I see somebody. Oh, Lamar just donated $5 to the Teahive now. Thank you, Lamar. VIPT in effect. We in this bit. Stand up. Okay. You may think you know all there is to know about my mother because the media has vilified her and portrayed her as being crazy and deranged. But there are always two sides to the story, and my mother has finally decided to tell hers, a decision that I support her with 100%. It's hard for me to imagine what could have driven her to attempt at setting my father on fire 22 years ago in front of my elementary school a week before Christmas. What I know for sure is that she is a good-hearted person who would not have wanted my father dead. In fact, I've witnessed my mother doing many selfless acts, including putting her emotions aside and doing the unthinkable for me, my dad, and my brother Jamal. Baby! They done said Carlitas done tried to set the person on fire. Craig Hodges. Craig. I was a freshman playing basketball on a full athletic scholarship at Long Beach State University, and my younger brother Jamal was a senior in high school in the Chicago area. My father was living in Chicago at that time and had fallen on hard times. He did not own a home or an automobile. Thank you, Natalie Esposito. I see you with the $10 donation, girl. We have $15. Let's get some book suggestions in there as well, guys. Both my brother and father wanted to see me play, but neither had the funds to make the trip to the West Coast to see me play. In this moment, my mother made the most unexpected sacrifice I ever witnessed. She put her cape on and came to the rescue of a man, my father, who she allegedly tried to douse with gasoline and set ablaze. In spite of her feelings about my father, she purchased 2 round-trip tickets for my brother and father so that they were able to see me play my final games as a freshman. My mom never ceased to amaze me, and she always does the unthinkable. She is the most resilient person I know, and at times was my father, mother, best friend, confidant, disciplinarian, and teacher. Upon reflection, I am sure that her ability to wear many hats as a parent was not out of choice, but out of sheer necessity, and she did it well. Although she went through hell and back, my mother didn't allow her pain to destroy her. As she went through her struggles, she taught me the patience of the importance of being educated and being a man with integrity. If it wasn't for my mom, I wouldn't be who I am today, and I wouldn't be where I am in my life. My mom took my desire to play Division I college basketball to heart, even when she didn't have a clue on how to get me a scholarship, but she made it happen. Well, somebody better make it happen. Your father is Craig Hodges. I'm just saying. From a small black house in South Central LA, my mother did the impossible and made my dream become a reality. She insisted that I continue to excel academically and told me that she would take care of the rest. She held her promise. She contacted every Division I school in California, and if she had to walk in the coach's offices herself, she did just that. She wouldn't take no for an answer. I went from being an unknown high school player in Illinois to signing an athletic scholarship at Long Beach State. My mother is a true inspiration. She is not only a powerful woman who beat the odds, but she is also someone I greatly admire. Her faith, strength, and perseverance have also always pushed me to do my best, even during the toughest times in my life. After reading her story, you will be compelled to be just like her, strong, confident, and empowered. Ultimately, you will learn that you can conquer anything. Her story is compelling, exciting, fresh, and explosive. Enjoy, Jabril Hodges. Yes, Jabril. Yes. Okay, we are definitely going to enjoy your mama's story, child. We already enjoying it. Shit. Okay, let me get up on these comments right quick before I actually start the actual story because, Lord, let me see. Oh, we got 67 on here so far. I didn't even really announce the live, did I? Did I do that? Well, good. I'm glad. Okay. No. We will be getting a Toya Wright book very soon. I believe that thing will be good. I see this. The mods are in the house today. Thank you, darling. Thank you, darling, honey. Okay. You guys are basically just saying hi. Nikki Marie, yes, I'm so glad you called me, girl. 6. Hi, 6. How you doing, baby? All right, and Nicole N, yeah, I just answered your question. Andra. Thank you so much, Andra, for loving me. I love you back for watching. And welcome to the Teahive. Andra is new, you guys. Welcome, Andra, to the Teahive. Okay, it might be Andre. Is it Andra? Let me see. No, Andra. All right. Whoo, child, I'm ready to get into it. Child, hold on, child. I want everybody right now to take their weed out. Pack your bong up, okay? And let's get ready to smoke and read. Because this is getting good. First of all, let me just tell y'all this. She's starting off in the bed. I don't know what she's doing in the bed. But she's starting off in the bed, y'all. Okay? So we just gonna make sure we get all of our bowls packed up. Get your blunts rolled. Because we about to get into it. Good job. Good shit, Molly. Now, y'all know that Demetrius Smith done said that this woman done slept with R. Kelly when he was 17 years old. Mind y'all, I have a whole hour, 45-minute conversation with Carlita that I only decided to do half of. Only because my phone has an auto feature on it from an app. And I was able to get the conversation, capture the conversation. But I told her that I wouldn't release it. So I haven't released the rest of it. But child, we might not even need to. All right. I'm laying in the bed in my hotel room. The lights are low. The radio is going. And the music is soft. Then bang! There's a break in the music. I'm wondering who in the heck they're talking about. Holy crap. A danger to society. Crazy. Abandoned her children. Not a good mom. No way. The radio plays. Craig Hodges, missing practice Thursday to testify at a bond hearing of his estranged wife, Carlita, who was arrested on Wednesday after dousing the Bulls guard in gasoline and throwing 2 lighted matches at him. Hodges is uninjured in the accident. Carlita Hodges, who spent Wednesday night at the Northbrook police lockup, was released on $100,000 bond by Skokie Associate Judge Gerald T. Rower. In addition, Roar entered an order of protection for Craig Hodges and the couple's 2 boys, ages 4 and 6, banning the mother from residing in Northbrook and giving her 2 hours to put something together and move out of town. This incident occurred at 8:45 on Wednesday outside of the Grove School, 1000 P. Feinstein Road in Northbrook as Craig Hodges. It's me. All this stuff they saying, it can't be. I'm not a killer, crazy, or a bad mom. I didn't abandon my damn children. Hell, how could they say this? I've never tried to kill anyone. Crazy. Well, hell, these folks don't know me. A bad mom. I spent a night in lockup. Thank you, Kenya Monroe. I see you with a $20 donation, baby. Thank you, honey bun. We are up to $35 as far as my calculations are concerned. Okay. I spent the night in lockup. Wow. The room is spinning. I can't see a thing. And the tears just won't stop. I just want to turn it off. I can't move. It hurts. It hurts as though I've fallen on a knife and it won't stop turning. Someone help. Help me. I pull myself off the bed to turn off the sound. I look around and it all stops. Am I dreaming? Is this a bad dream? And I can't wake up. I'm scared to move. Now, first of all, before I go on any further in this book, you guys, let me just say, could y'all imagine, because y'all know I'm going through something, right? Could you imagine committing a crime and then they tell you, well, look, until your trial is over, your kids will be over here, bitch. Not that I'm not able to see them, but for her, she was unable to, she was had a protective order against her and both of her children. Not one, but both. Now, what in the hell kind of shit? That's just a horrible thing. I need to know if this is a dream. No, it's real. It's really real. I'm here in a hotel. I can't go home. I can't see my boys. I can't hear their little voices. I can't put them to bed. I'm crying. Okay, so let me just say this too. Obviously, this book is going to make me emotional. Obviously, it's going to hit some points that I might be going through in my life. And I don't mind you guys judging me for it. You guys can judge me on whatever you want to judge me on. That's completely up to you guys. I simply want to read this book to you guys. And if I do cry, then I just cry. You understand that? Because I'm crying on the internet like every day nowadays. I don't know what the hell is going on with me. But ever since I stopped drinking, I've just been overly emotional. And just, you know, realizing what is actually, and I just have been super emotional. By the way, yesterday was my sober birthday. That was my 30 days. So congratulations to me, and congratulations to anybody that is in recovery that has met their 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and of course, a year and anything afterward. Congratulations to you guys, especially those of us who might be jailbirds who have been able to stay out of jail, child. Congratulations to you too, child. All right. I want to fall on my knees. Help me, Father. Please, God, help me. I want out of this nightmare. I have some Valium on a nightstand. I need something. I need my head to stop. I take one, squeeze the bottle, and my head says, take another one. I look at the bottle and put it back on the table. I don't want another one. I just want the sound in my head to stop. I need to sleep. I need to sleep so I'll be able to think this thing out. It's late, sometime after midnight. I just want to sleep, really. I think I'm asleep already, just in a bad dream, but this shit is real. How did I get here? I just want to go home and lay in my own bed and just sleep. I'm scared. I have no one to talk to. I don't really know if I want to talk. What I want is somebody with me. I wish I had somebody, but I don't. Everyone's too busy judging me, and that's not what I need right now. I want someone to shake me until it all stops, until I wake up from this dream that's not a dream. My name is Carlita. I'm the 5th of 9 children. My mom told me that when she was 5 or 6 months pregnant with me, my dad beat her up and gave her 2 black eyes. He took her to Dad's house, my grandfather and pastor, and just bought a new sawed-off shotgun. He could tell my mom was lying about the story she told of running into a wall. He got his gun, pointed it at my dad, and my mom jumped in front of the gun. As he pulled the trigger, the gun jammed. Lucky for me, when everything calmed down, my grandmother checked the gun and saw that the bullet had been dented, but hadn't been pushed out. That's what my mother told me, and that was the confirmation of why I always felt like I'm supposed to do something with this life of mine. And I think I'm doing it now. I never thought much of being the middle child. I always felt a little sidetracked in life. I can't say we were poor because I didn't miss what I didn't know I was supposed to have. If I had to describe my childhood, I would say that it was pretty okay. I've always shared a room with one or two of my sisters. I didn't mind. I really loved my sisters a lot, at least the ones that were near my age. As a little girl, I didn't care for my oldest sister. I felt she was way too busy. And I think the sister she might be talking about is Dee Dee, who's also mentioned in the book as Demetrius Smith's older sister. But let me tell you guys this, Carlita, in the beginning of our conversation, and it's on this channel. If you listen, and I might release another 30 minutes on the home channel, but if you listen to the conversation that I had with Carlita Hodges, Demetrius' sister and Craig Hodges, NBA player, ex-wife. If you listen to the conversation that I had with her, you'll see in the first couple of minutes of the conversation, she says that she is upset and appalled at the way that Demetrius Smith described their mother in his book, The Man Behind the Myth, because in actuality, their mother was a fast lane woman. She was out there, were her words. And you can go back and listen to that on this channel. I think I will take it from this channel, upload it to my other channel today. And I might do another 30 minutes, like I said, between today and this week, because we're obviously reading the book. But I'm just want to let you guys know the mother that's portrayed in the book, The Man Behind the Man, by this woman's brother, is not the mother that Carlita has portrayed in her book, because Carlita says that Demetrius Smith is a liar who just decided to embellish what was actually going on, okay? So let's get to it. As a little girl, I didn't care for my oldest sister. I felt she was way too bossy. My mom always left her in charge, so she took that shit to her head. My mom worked a lot, as well as partied a lot during those days. I guess you could say my mom gave us as good as she got. And you can see right there, she says, my mom worked a lot, my mom partied a lot. She gave us as good as she got. This is not the portrayal that we got of this mother in her brother Demetrius Smith's book, by the way. Okay, my mom was a good-looking woman and had legs that put everyone else to shame. She could make a man forget he was married. She was a beauty. Ow. I always felt my mom was making up for all that lost time. Time she felt she missed out on by having so many babies when she was so young. Now it was her time to party. I think my oldest sister liked playing the mother to compensate for it. I really wanted to talk to my mom. She didn't talk a lot to her younger kids, so I would watch her a lot instead. I would watch her get dressed and make up her face. She was the best looking mom in the world to me. That changed as I got older, me thinking she was so pretty. My sister Linda looked a lot like her. She was also very pretty. In our family, if you were pretty with long hair, you were treated differently, kind of special. Nope, I wasn't one of the pretty ones. I had to grow into my beauty. I used to wonder how I was going to stand out in this big family, so I got good grades. It helped, and that's how I got my attention for a while anyway. I remember one time when I was in the 5th grade, we were without lights. There was no lights, and I had a book report to do. My mom went and got candles for me, and I did my reports by candlelight. Being young, and I thought that was really cool. Later, I saw my mom crying in her room about not having lights on in our home. That's when I knew we were poor, and I started to feel sad for my mom. Mind you, Demetrius Smith is saying, oh, my mom has always provided this, and she was always a Christian going woman. And Carlita is saying that she wanted to go out. She wanted to party. She wanted to be in the streets. Mind you guys, Demetrius Smith is somebody who was in prison for most of his adulthood due to him being a drug addict who still obviously has addiction behaviors. You being an addict doesn't mean that you're particularly on the drug. That means that you're an addict. You can be addicted to smoking cigarettes. You can be addicted to behaving a certain way. You can be addicted to drama. You can be addicted to sex. It's an addictive personality. So being an addict does not mean that you're actively taking drugs. You could have addict behavior due to your excessive use of drugs. So Demetrius Smith clearly has addict behavior. Okay, and so when it comes to an account of their mother, I trust Carlitas' word over Demetrius Smith. First of all, because he's a liar. Second of all, he has no integrity to allow Aaliyah to marry a grown-ass man, to marry R. Kelly. Thirdly, he knew what the fuck was going on. Fourthly, I saw what he did with me, so I know his character, and I know he was foul as hell. And fifthly, the man was in prison half of his adulthood. How the fuck would you know? All you know is what your mama said to you on that prison phone. So shut up. Okay? Anyway, that's when I started to feel sad for my mom. I didn't really take it to heart because she'd always seemed to have a job. So being poor still didn't mean anything to me. I had clothes, shoes, food, and family. So that made it all okay. Being little was okay for me, but I hated the fact that I was so scared of everything. I was shy and only liked being at home with my mom, sisters, and brothers. Another thing I remember when I was young was that my big sister Linda was my best friend in the whole wide world. She would look out for me no matter what. Now, this is the same sister she said that was too bossy, by the way. We would play with our paper dolls, for hours and hours, and nothing else mattered. One night, my oldest sister was giving the girls their baths, and I was 7 or 6, but I can remember this as though it was yesterday. Me and my baby sister went first, and then the two older girls had their baths after us. She, my oldest sister Dee Dee, ran into my mom's room and let her know there was a problem with both girls. There was blood. They were 8 or 9, and they had pain when they were being washed. This became the longest night of my little life. The thing that started to unfold were awful. My sisters had stayed overnight at my grandfather's home the night before, and he had molested the girls. And of course, they had been afraid to tell my mom. Okay, so not only were there drugs, right? There was molestation within this family. And see, when you talk about Demetrius Smith and the interview that I just did with him, mind you guys, I just interviewed this man about his interactions with Aaliyah, about his interactions with R. Kelly, about his interactions with Aaliyah's mother. I just interviewed this man about all of these things. You understand what I'm saying? And I just actually asked him, if you go look on my home channel on the interview between me and Demetrius Smith, I specifically asked this man about the alleged sexual abuse in R. Kelly's family, and he said that he still speaks to their oldest sister and that he couldn't see her doing anything like that. But then he turns around and he says that if in fact it did happen, then he can understand why R. Kelly is this way and that way. Mind you, clearly this man has this same thing going on in his family. So when we say we dealing with sick people, okay, and it all depends on how you allow it to affect you. But as you can see, and this speaks a lot to Demetrius Smith's answers when I ask him about these things, about R. Kelly and about these, his interactions with R. Kelly's family and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? He literally failed to bring that up. Could have failed to bring it up. Shout out to Carlita for being 100. Let's keep going. She might not have listened anyway. She always said, children are to be seen and not heard. Now, this is her mother she talking about. This is the mother that Demetrius Smith said was so God-fearing and stuff. Her mother, she just said that her mother might not have listened to her kids telling them that they've been molested by the grandfather. She always said, children are to be seen and not heard. It was a saying that I don't live by. And from the sound of things, this was not the first time this happened to the girls. When I became an adult, I learned that my grandfather, the pastor, had done this to other members of our family. I still wonder to this day, did this ever happen to my mom? Our house was so different that night. My mom was crying and talking low. She had the girls in her bedroom and closed the door. I remember sitting outside the door listening with my big brother. The door was open just a little, and I could hear my mom saying to the girls, "Tell me what happened. You won't be in trouble. Tell mama." The girls were crying. I didn't know what the hell I was hearing. I just knew it was bad. I felt it in my gut. I didn't know anything about sex or the fact that it was good or bad. I just knew my sisters were crying. I could hear one of them saying how my grandfather made them sleep with him and he had touched her in her stuff. My stomach knotted up and my brother kept telling me to be still so he could hear. Now I wonder if this is Demetrius she's talking about. Hell, I was trying to hear myself. More than that, I was trying to understand what it was that I was hearing. Not long after that, my grandmother came over to our house. She didn't play. She meant business. It got really crazy because my grandfather came over too. This was the first time I had seen my grandmother snap. She was ready to shoot my grandfather. I saw my grandma's gun. It had a white pearl handle. The cops came. My mom was screaming and crying. This was out of control. The police took my grandfather. But the part that was crazy as hell was that my mom was crying and trying to protect him. I couldn't understand it. Lord, I throw my hands to you on that note, okay? Not the mother that Demetrius Smith said was a God-fearing Bible thumper. What is happening? My two sisters were in the back room. Meanwhile, my mom was taken away in a white jacket. As a little girl, I was scared as hell about them taking my mom. So not only was Demetrius Smith's mom out there possibly molested by her own father, aware that her own daughters were being molested by her own father, but she was taken to a mental hospital. You know what? I cannot believe a fucking word that Demetrius Smith says. And I am so happy that I do not have the burden of him trying to make me feel like we have some type of friendship through the blogosphere. I am a blogger. You are a celebrity's manager. That is the relationship we have, period. And I felt an obligation to like kind of be his friend based on his crying to me and the stuff that he was saying to me. It was so sad. And he made me feel like I had an obligation. And I'm thinking this is the same way that R. Kelly probably made him feel as his manager. The man is still waiting on his 5%. He still have not gotten paid for working for R. Kelly. You are sad, sir. That's all I gotta say. Anyway, as a little girl, I was scared as hell about them taking my mom. I thought she was never going to come home again. I was wondering if the girls were going to be taken away as well. I'm not too sure if they were even taken to the hospital. That part is blank for me today. Yes, they were. If they took your grandfather and took your mama, they took them to the hospital, girl. I'm not even sure how much time passed from that night until I saw my mom again. It was all swept under the carpet, never to be spoken about again, not one word. I'm so sure that that's why things haven't been the way they have been. I'm so sure that that's why things have been the way they've been with me and my mom for years. I always wondered why and how that night become about my mom and never about my two sisters. They were children who were two little girls and afraid to speak out and be heard. Instead, we grew up and moved past it all. All this shit has caused so many problems in our lives. Now, I'm not a psychiatrist, but I believe for sure that one of my sisters becoming addicted to drugs and working the streets for some lame ass dude with no help to get past the bullshit through her life away had a large part to do with what took place in her childhood. The abuse she endured in her childhood also caused my sister to pick the wrong men, stay too long, and get the shit beat out of her because she was too scared to tell. It all caused her to have an illness such as lupus, and she is still to this day looking for love in all the wrong places. Self-esteem issues are all over this for sure. The sad part is, I didn't even know if it had happened to me. But the impact of me being there to hear it sunk deep into my soul as if it did. I was so afraid of boys, men, back in the day, that my family would say I was weird. And maybe I was. I only trusted 3 males, my big brother Johnny and my 2 uncles, Uncle Earl and Uncle Bubble. Okay, so we know she don't trust Demetrius. Now, for my little brothers, they didn't count. They were too small to hurt anyone. Okay, so maybe Demetrius is a little brother. Having contact with boys in my classroom was always a challenge for me. I didn't like them and I thought they were all foul. As far as pastors were concerned, they were all dirtbags to me and were for years. But I can say God has a way of healing one's soul. And that's what it was going to take for me to grow from all this madness from my grandfather's bullshit. Today, I forgive him, but it took a lot. Like me seeing his dead body in a coffin, lot. Not till then I was able to forgive him. Not to sound uncaring, but I felt it was better late than never. I remember when my grandfather passed away, I was in Las Vegas having a time of my life with some friends. I was married at the time and that was on the rocks. I remember my mom calling me in the wee hours of the night in Vegas. She sounded sad, so I listened to what she had to say. Her voice was shaky and she said, "Daddy passed away." I was silent for a second or two and before I knew it, I got pissed. I have no idea what came over me. I said, "What is it that you want me to do?" I felt like a weight had been lifted off of me. For many years, I wanted to say, "What happened, Mom? Why didn't you protect your girls? Why did you protect this man?" But I'd never gotten up the guts to ask. Plus, I didn't want to be slapped in the face. So now such rage had come over me. I felt that he, my grandfather, had never been punished and now was gone. It was bittersweet, so I said to my mom in the meanest voice I could, "Fine, why are you waking me up with this?" What could I do? You could have waited until the morning to call me, don't you think? So now I'm pissed. And of course she's pissed and hangs up on me. But the truth is, I didn't really care. I sank back in the bed and wondered if that man had ever touched me. Had I put this experience out of my head and not wanted to remember it? In fact, it had happened to me as well. I sank down in the bed, not able, wait a minute, let me read that over. In fact, it had happened to me as well. Yeah. I sank back in the bed, not able to fall back to sleep. I began wondering about the times I would run and hide when it was time to go to my grandfather's home with him. He would come to pick me up and my sisters, and I can only remember going once. All the other times I would run and hide until they got tired of looking for me and just leave me alone at home. Mama would be so mad with me, but I felt safer not going. The one time I remember going to his home, I can see us 3, me and my sisters, in the bed together and him tucking us in and then nothing. To sit there and think about this brings such pain to my heart. I still cry today over this. I wonder if the girls ever wanted answers like I did. And did his dying bring peace to them? Okay. So let me just say this. As a little girl, right? A little girl being around a molester, 9 times out of 10, if you remember him tucking you in the bed and then you can't remember nothing else, that's called trauma, PTSD. 9 times out of 10, something probably did happen to you and you threw it away in your mind. And this is according to studies. This ain't my study, child. This is studies, okay? I found it so strange that they never wanted to talk about it. And the fact that my mom never wanted to talk about it was strange to me too. As the years went by, I would bring this subject up. I saw that it was painful for my mom and that there would always be tears and then nothing. On one Christmas holiday, I was in town with the boys visiting, and for some strange reason, I felt like asking the question, "Why didn't you do anything to help the girls, Mom?" I asked her. Why did she make it about her? She started crying, so I kept going. "Mom, why do you always cry? Just talk to me," I said. I'm not sure what I wanted to hear, but for damn sure I didn't want the waterworks. She got mad and loud and told me I was insensitive. I may have been, but I didn't give a goddamn. Now I'm just dead and dying, y'all, because It's just seeking and soaking into me that this fucking, come on, mods, make sure you guys are on your job now. There you go. I don't know who did that, but thank you. This is the same mom, right, that is in this other book portrayed as a certain type of, I fucking cannot. Oh my fucking goodness. Anyway, I wanted to talk about this once and for all. More tears came, so I did the next thing and just left. Have I gotten all the answers? Any answers from my mom? Never. So today I have my own theory. She too was molested, and she's carried it with her for years. She didn't want to shame her father more than he had already been. My mother will probably take that with her to the grave. Now, that's my theory, right or wrong. I'm going with that. Growing up in a large family had its benefits. Outside people left you alone. I had my moments when I would wish I belonged to another family. There were too many people around and not enough attention for a kid like me who yearned for attention. There were times when I wanted my mom to say she loved me. It never happened when I was young. Oh, wow. How I would pray for her. But it didn't happen until I was an adult. I would say, God, if I ever have children, I would tell them every day that I love them. I met my father for the first time when I was about 10 years old. He was in jail. My mom told stories about him, not too many good ones. They were mostly about him robbing a bank and how they met. That story changed from time to time. Being 10 years old and not having ever seen a photo of the man that was supposed to be my dad was uncomfortable for me. And meeting him for the first time was worse. My mom planned a trip to Teahive, Indiana, which is where my dad was doing his jail time. He had been there about 9 years at this point. It was winter when my mom decided to take me and my two sisters on the Greyhound bus to finally meet this man. Being a kid, it felt like the longest ride in the world. I remember that. I remember coming from Oklahoma with my mom, who is clearly an abusive woman. And she was abusive the whole ride. But I remember being on a Greyhound with my mom and coming from Oklahoma to California, and that was one of the worst rides in my life, ever having to be in close quarters with my mom like that. And the nicest thing I remember is her buying me one of those little hamburger candies, and that was the first time I had ever seen and had one of those candies. But this book is powerful already, and you got to give it to somebody who tells their truth like this. And now this lets me see that perhaps Demetrius Smith is trying to live on R. Kelly's story. He's not telling the true story. He's telling a story that he could put in media and try to live on. And that's sad. Anyway, it really was a long ride and had a million stops. We got to the prison. It was gray and dingy. There were lots of wires on the buildings. It smelled old, like a wet basement. They searched us high and low, and then we went into this big room with lots of people visiting their families. We sat at a table that had 4 chairs. This man, Lamar Williams, came to our table with the biggest grin on his face. I was shaking in my boots. He knew who I was, but I had only heard of him. When he reached for me, I started to cry and clung to my mom. My sisters went to him with no problem. It didn't bother me one bit. I was safe right where I was with my mama. I didn't know this man from a can of paint, and I was not about to jump in his arms. I didn't want to be there to set the record straight. That was one long day for me. But after some time passed that day, I warmed up to my father. I kept a close eye on my mom, and as long as she was near, I was good. That was the one and only time I can remember seeing my dad in jail. Years later, when he got out, he lived with my aunt's sister in Chicago. Your aunt's sister. I'm trying to put that together in my brain. We saw him a few times, and he had taken me and my sister shopping only once. Then the arguing started between him and my mom. It was about money. Not long after the first few arguments, the visiting stopped. He took on a new family with a woman who had 3 girls. I guess he thought he would just replace us with them. Plus, they came without all the fighting. I don't remember seeing my dad much after that until high school. Well, once at his sister's funeral. Now, why was I there? I have no damn idea. I had never met my aunt. I never knew I had an Aunt Elizabeth. Yet, there I sat, staring at her funeral, wondering, what the hell am I doing here? My mom and brother felt the need for us to be there. This is crazy, I thought. Well, I looked around and saw folks crying, which made me cry. I felt the tears falling from my face and thought, knock it off. I was ready to leave, so I got up and headed towards the door to step outside towards the back of the room. I saw this dude chained up like an animal in back of the church. He was sitting with two guards who were sitting on each side of him. Now, who the hell is this? I thought. I found out later that he was my uncle who was doing time for only God knows what. My next step was out of the door. I had all I could take of this. After everything was done, my brother and I went to the family's home, which is where I met my dad's mom, my grandmother, for the first time, and other uncle and few cousins. My father came up to me and said that his sister looked good. Really? I said, why do people say dumb shit like that? Who looks good dead? She looked dead to me, and that's what I thought. I left never wanting to see any one of those folks again. All right, let me pause again and say this. Carlita Hodges. This book is true to her personality. The way that the words are being said, the way that she's putting the word on the page, it sounds like her talking, literally. I can hear her saying this. Kudos, Carlita. Yes, shout out, child. Yes. Okay. Let me see. She looked dead to me, and that was all. I left never wanting to see any of those folks again. Why? I don't know. I just wanted to go home. I felt like I was in a bad dream and needed to get the hell out of there. Getting home felt like heaven. I explained to my mom about what went on. It was as though I was in a twilight zone. It was a while before I saw my father again. To be exact, it was the night I graduated from high school. It was a good feeling seeing him. It was the one time he made me proud to be his daughter. He had made my day by showing up, and I saw him when I got in from my graduation. Even though there were no gifts, just his being there meant the world to me. I was my father's youngest daughter, although he never treated me like the baby girl. Now, graduation was some kind of night. I had no idea what I would do with my life. I had no plans for college or anything for that matter. My plans had gone out of the window when my mom said she wouldn't help me if I went away to college. She said I would have many days with my stomach touching my back. That scared the shit out of me. So I got a job and started my life living there with her. Little did she know I hated her for scaring the shit out of me. I wanted to go away to college, but fear is what kept me from moving forward. My two best girlfriends had gone away to college, but they had families who had done the college thing before, and the parents knew the importance of school. I think my mom just didn't know how to support me. I started working at a glass factory. I worked a swing shift and hated every moment of it. Never had I met a group of people who wanted nothing in life but to work at a factory. I'm not knocking factory workers. It just wasn't the life for me. They lived for the drama that went on with the job, and it was so awful to see on a day-to-day basis. I made a promise to myself not to stay there too long. After a few months of working there, I moved into my own apartment. Things were changing for me. I started looking at this thing called life a little differently and started saving money, doing me, and didn't have to answer to anyone about anything. I felt like a grown-up. But really, me growing up was the one thing. Becoming an adult came later. I found myself working. I hope all the young folk heard that. Growing up is one thing. Becoming an adult is a whole nother thing. Okay? I found myself working, partying, and going to church in that order. Working, partying, and going to church in that order. In that order. In that order. In that order. I worked 5 days a week, swing shift, and if I didn't work the late shift, my partying started on the weekend, on Wednesday. So she worked 5 days a week on a swing shift, and if she didn't work the late shift, she would start partying on a Wednesday, and it ended on a Sunday night. I was there at church on Sunday morning and partied on Sunday night. I liked church most of the time. It felt good going, and for me, that was big. Going to church lasted a few years for me. I stopped because I started not trusting the pastors. There were rumors running around in the church that the pastors were cheating on their wives. True or not, I was not the one to tell that shit to. Let me tell y'all something about my motherfucking pastor. Okay, the pastor that watched me grow up. Not only would he not help me when I was homeless in the streets with my kids, but I heard he slept with my mama, which I wouldn't doubt. My mother is definitely, she sleeps around in the churches she goes to, and I hate that she does that, but she does. And she calls herself a minister to try to get in the churches. It's just sad. Anyway, but I heard he slept with my mama. Then he divorced Sister Howard, and it was a new Sister Howard there before the damn divorce. I'm like, what the hell? Who is this dark-skinned Sister Howard? He just went from light-skinned Sister Howard to dark-skinned Sister Howard. I was like, what the fuck? I'm not coming to this church no more. The fuck? Meanwhile, it's couples in there that been married for 25 years with their old ass. Then here you go. The fuck? Anyway. I stopped because I started not trusting the pastors. There were rumors running around that rumors running around in the church that there were pastors cheating on their wives. True or not, I was not the one to tell that shit to. I hated hearing this, although the head pastor was cool and was a friend to our family. I stayed a little longer because I liked church. Aside from that, I liked the people there. But on the real, I needed a place to go to make me feel like if I was sinning out in the streets, there was hope for me after the fact. That may sound funny, but it's my truth. When I left the church, I never looked back. The next phase was to make sure my youngest sister had the best graduation and went to college. Deneen was my baby sister. She played basketball in high school. The thing that made it work for me was that she had to always have her hair done and look like a girl. So she played basketball, but she had to always have her hair done and look like a girl. By the way, let me give you guys a quick pause. Let me just shout out Amazon where I got this book from. Make sure you guys head over there and get your copy, so you guys can read along with me. Read along with me. Read along with me. If you guys have the Kindle version, it's $9.99. I believe the regular version is $12.99. So she had to always have her hair done and look like a girl. She didn't have a problem with that. So I always made it my business to make her cute for her games. Once graduation came, I made sure she had plenty of gifts and support. I was sure my mom was not going to have much for her. Not because she wouldn't. She just didn't have it. My little sister was so excited when she received her gifts from me. That's all I wanted, to see her smiling face. Being a big sister was cool. I had my own thoughts about how I was going to be Deneen's big sister and make a difference. My little sister was going to college by any means necessary. This way, I could live through her. I was going to be the wind beneath her wings. My life was not really that exciting. I was really bored and the partying had gotten old. It was the same thing every weekend. I wanted something worthwhile, and that hadn't come yet. I was not in, nor was I looking for, a relationship. The people I work with just looked stuck in their crappy lives. So I was not about to get caught up with anyone there. Plus, everyone there had children and no husband. Nope, not for me. For me, life was so much more than getting tied down with some dude's baby, and then his ass. Then he would be off to the next one. Plus, I made a promise to myself when I was younger, which was that I would marry my first. Wait a minute. Let me go back up. For me, life was so much more than getting tied down with some dude's baby and then his ass. Then he would be off to the next one. Plus, I made a promise to myself when I was younger, which was that I would marry first before I had children. And that's what I did. Not knocking those who chose to do it the other way. I worked at a company called Ball Glass for about 2.5 years. I had had enough. It was time to do something else. I was ready to go back to modeling school. So I did. I went to charm school when I was a little girl up until my high school days. It was called Distinguished Ones Charm School, and I loved it. I thought if nothing else, I could teach modeling somewhere. I love dressing and was pretty good at it. And I would work all the crazy shifts and work it out to do classes 3 days a week. My sentiments, one of my beautiful mods just donated $9.99. She said, happy sober birthday, Tox. Love you. Keep doing your thing, sis. We are proud of you. Teahive strong. Okay, thank you. I don't know why that made me emotional. Thank you so very much. I gotta say that I honestly did not think that I could ever stop drinking for 30 days straight. I'm proud of myself, and thank you guys so much for all your support in this, because it has not been easy, especially that first week of not drinking alcohol was very hard for me. And I just appreciate you guys' support. So on to 60 days. All right, let's keep reading. So she worked it out to do class 3 days a week. After I enrolled into a Barbizon School of Modeling in the downtown Chicago area, I felt hopeful again. In just a few months, I was meeting a new group of people that were more my style. The factory was not working for me. I didn't see any light at the end of that tunnel. I hadn't stopped working for the ball glass, although I did find myself calling off a lot. I was trying to get them to fire me, but they didn't. I started doing fashion shows every week. The extra money was great. More than that, I loved being on stage modeling. It felt good. I remember going in for an Ultra Bright commercial. I was excited for just being picked for a second interview. I didn't get it, but it was a lot of fun trying. I got called back twice, but someone beat me out. I was really close to my sister Linda, who lived in Chicago Heights with her dude, who no one in our family liked. And I think Linda was also in Demetrius Smith's book as well, right? Or unless I'm tripping, unless I heard him say that name to me. She and I would shop until we dropped. We hung out every chance we got. See, she could shop because her dude was a dope boy and I had a pretty nice savings account. Shopping was therapeutic for us both. I didn't see my sister much because her guy was strict on her. I didn't like him because he used to whoop on her. I went to visit her once and she had 2 black eyes because she had been out shopping with me. All I can say is you have to want better to do better. Then you have to do better, I said. I'm not one for anyone putting their hands on me. I always thought my sister was pretty smart, even though she settled for this bullshit ass dude. I think her choices came from what happened to her when she was a kid. His money, plus my mom being so jealous of her and going upside her head every chance she got. Is that what that is, child? That's why when it comes up, I still get so fucking pissed that my mom didn't get them any help. Shit, a little couch time never hurt anyone. I know, because I was ordered to have a seat on the couch. Now that's another story for much later. Not long after this, I met my husband, and she's talking about Craig Hodges. I met my husband, I stopped partying so much, and I started focusing on teaching modeling. I had been focused and not had hung out at all for the last 6 months. It was work and school for me. My girlfriends were fed up with me, so they came by my place and begged me to hang out. They wanted to fix me up with some cat. And when I found out, I lied and said I would meet them out at the club, but I never went. I felt that if it was someone for me, he would find me and not on a hookup. I was working the next evening. I had a fashion show in the city. It was always exciting for me when I walked in a show because I was told a few times I was not tall enough. But when I was on stage, you couldn't tell me anything. I was as tall as I needed to be and as good as any of the taller girls, if not better. They would say I wasn't tall enough, but they would always call me for work. So hey, it worked for me just fine. After that show, I got in late. I was beat. I missed church the next morning. I thought of driving to see my sister Linda, and that's just what I did. I was in the market to buy a new car in the next few months. My little green machine is what I called my car, and it was on its last leg. I was taking a chance that I would be stranded somewhere every time I got into it. But I was off to see my sister. Sister. All right, chapter 2. You guys, I'm going to read one paragraph before I go down these comments. Let me read one paragraph of chapter 2. Now, chapter 2 is called The Meeting. We met on August 21st, 1982 in Chicago Heights, and I later found out that it was his mom's birthday. Well, it happened. My car croaked out on me. I made it around the corner from where my sister lived in Chicago Heights. As soon as I tried to turn, the car just stopped. Okay, I thought, you can stay right there until you cool off, little green machine. I got out and walked around the corner. I was a little beat from the night before. I had a fashion show that I walked in, so when I woke up, I hadn't taken any makeup off before I had fallen asleep. I jumped in the shower and patted my face lightly while I looked in the mirror. I saw that my makeup was still in place, and I thought, this is gonna have to work. All right, that was the first paragraph of chapter 2 called The Meeting. Now, clearly, she's going to be meeting with Craig Hodges in this chapter, and this is where her life really begins to change. Remember that Craig Hodges goes on, she and Craig Hodges go on to manage R. Kelly on account of her brother. So I'm pretty sure Demetrius will be brought up in this book, possibly. I know she cannot stand his guts. I know half the family don't like Demetrius, so she might, so you know, maybe she might not bring him up, but he should be brought up in this book because he is the one who introduced Craig Hodges and Carlita Hodges to R. Kelly. So we will see what is to come. So she cheats on her husband with R. Kelly, allegedly, according to Demetrius Smith's book. She also admitted this to me also, you guys, that she did cheat on her husband with R. Kelly, but she says that it was not when R. Kelly was a 17-year-old boy, as Demetrius Smith claims in his book. He claims that she slept with this boy when he was 17 years old. Okay, let us also, okay. I always forget announcements that I need to make, and I hate that. I need to start writing this down. So let me just make my general announcements. VIP Teahive, you should see a phone number down below that you can text for the VIP Teahive. Also, when you text me, I'm just going to ask you to send me an email. So if you want to bypass the texting and just send me an email to toxsdia@gmail, TOXSDIAMOND@gmail. Thank you, Mary. Donations mean the world to me. That's for sure, because I want to keep our book club going and growing. Okay, we want to keep the book club going and growing. I'm going to actually create some t-shirts. I have some t-shirts created for the book club, but I want to create some updated t-shirts for the book club. And those people who have book club gear, if you have any of my merchandise, if you have any Toxic Diamond merchandise, period, please send me a picture to 818-858-0852 so I can make sure that I feature you in one of my videos. Please send me a picture. Okay, I know that people have been buying my merchandise because I get paid for it. So you're buying it and you're not letting me know you're buying it. I want to know. I know that there are more than a few people in the VIP Teahive that have bought phone cases and t-shirts. And I want you guys to send me a picture of those, okay, so that I can feature you in the video. Thank you, Six. I got you. Also, I am looking for new people in the VIP Teahive. I am only interested in people that are willing, that are actually willing to stay in the group. I'm not interested in people that's mad over petty shit. Oh, this girl posted this in the group and then you said this afterward. I don't care. You know, I don't need people that's gonna be starting problems in the group. I need solid, loyal people in my group, bro. Okay, I don't need no inconsistencies, no jump in, jump out ass people. So I've deleted a lot of people from the group. Right now, we're probably about 54 people, okay, out of 91,000. We're probably 51 people as far as the VIPT is concerned. And we are looking for new members of the group, but we just want to make sure they're loyal, that they're real, and that they're not petty, and that's that, okay? Once again, if you guys are live with me reading this book, then God bless your soul. You have found my backup, my secondary home channel / backup channel. If you are on my primary home channel and you are watching me make this announcement, then that means that if you want to catch me live, you're going to have to go to my backup channel, which is the same name as this channel, Toxic Diamond, TOXSIQUE. Scroll down a little bit. You can tell the differences in the channels because one of them has less subscribers. I believe this channel has about 5,200 subscribers. The other channel has 91,000 subscribers. So you'll be able to see a huge difference. Also, the backdrop is different. On my home channel, the Toxic written across the diamonds is bolded. And on my secondary home channel / backup channel, that Toxic written across the diamonds is transparent. So that is two different ways that you can go about knowing which channel you're on. What else? If you guys are missing any of the book reads, like say for instance, if you are reading, you want to read Taraji P. Henson's book with me, make sure you guys head over to the website, TOXSDIAMOND.com. Under the book club tab at the very bottom, you will see the book club tab, and all the completed books that I've uploaded recently are there. I believe it's about 3 books there. I do have to upload the Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown books that I did on the home channel. So those are still there. But if you check it for me once, honey, you should check twice and 3 times because they're there. Okay. And if any are missing from the website, they're going to be on the backup home channel, which is also Toxic Diamond. All right, let's get into some comments. Get into these comments. What did y'all think about this book so far? Ooh, Lord. Ooh, y'all was making it rain. I see y'all was making it rain diamonds. Thank you. I think we have 4 donations, did we? Let's see. Loretta said, hey, Toxic Chat, what's happening? Let me smoke while I do this. Okay. What's up, Sharonda? Mrs. Wells, I love your channel. When I first saw you on YouTube, you were fussing in your car about stuff going on in life. Was crazy, and I loved you candidness. Yes. Okay, so let me tell you. So, Mrs. Wells, I am one of those people that I do keep it real on this here internet. If I'm going through something, I will do talks, and I will do my talking on my channel and let you guys know how I feel. And I appreciate all the support through that. One thing that I don't want to do, and even like right now with this, with me looking like this, guess what? When I become even bigger in the media realm, they're going to go back and they're going to find videos of me looking like this. Because I'm not going to look like this. My hair won't be like this. And they're going to say, ooh, she was toe up. Ooh, look at her. You know, this, that, and the other. You know, so my goal is, yeah, I know that this is happening. Yeah, that's happening. But listen, I know about it. Okay? I don't want people thinking that they can surprise me with anything. So, yes, I keep it real. I make sure that I keep it 100. I make sure that I keep you guys updated. And that's for sure. Okay, and so thank you so much for acknowledging that I'm very candid with what I do here on YouTube. All right, let's keep going. Let's see here. I will be doing an ASMR video tonight, by the way. I'm going to do another sexy ASMR video tonight because I accidentally deleted the multiple orgasm video. Didn't mean to do that. I was an accident. Lamar Jordan, yes. Keep it coming, Tox. Blessing all. God is good on this beautiful Sunday morning. Absolutely. Natalie Esposito. Look at Puddin' with the little. You funny, Pud. Kenya Monroe. Good job, my cupcake. Love you, boo. Aw, I love those emojis. You know those emojis with the hearts? For some reason, those make me feel good. The diamonds in the heart. Sound. Yes, sunshines. We got to keep those books going. Yes. Yes, the mods are doing their things today. Okay. But yeah, guys, it looks like this book is getting to the money. What? Everybody mad. What? Everybody? I'm getting too much money. Okay. Anyway. But yeah, so it looks like we are pretty good on as far as Carlitas' book go. It look like we're gonna be very entertained, child. Okay, now just in case you guys don't know, I want you guys to go check out my social media. Okay, everything should be here written on your screen right now. As you see, my Twitter, my Instagram, my Facebook, and my website. Guys, remember that if you want to join me live, if you want in on this, my brother, then you have to go to my backup screen. I want to say once again, I love it. And thank you to all of you guys who have donated. You guys are the bomb. Y'all know y'all mean the world to me. Teahive is the ish, honey. We coming back. Make sure you guys leave your comments, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And again, I want to give a special donation to the mods. Special thank you to the mods. All right, guys. See you back.